I think attitudes towards professional registration have remained quite strong among employers. And data that I've seen shows how about 76% of employers have heard of professional registration, so they're aware of it. And of those 76%, the majority, so around 60%, view it as either essential or as a highly valued attribute of an employee. So the awareness is good, and the kind of the importance is good. I'd say one thing that's changed around attitudes towards registration among employers is the kind of the increasing conversation around risk and liability. And so how, as an employer, employing somebody who's been professionally registered and has been assessed at a level of competence and a commitment can really help you as an employer to manage your risk effectively, drive down insurance premiums. So I think that's a really important change recently in the conversation around awareness of registration among employers. And I think among employees, it's a similar picture. We still see registration levels at the 223,000 people are registered in the UK as an engineer. I think probably the biggest shift I think we're seeing in attitudes towards perceptions of professional registration is the importance of the commitment element of the registration. So for registrants, that's particularly around kind of sustainability and around ethics. So I think those are real drivers for people professionally registering now that might be different from maybe 10 or 20 years ago. I think those elements are much stronger now. Well, I think one of the beautiful things about UK Spec is that kind of evolution is built into it already. So when you're professionally registered, you're kind of registered against the standards that are set out in UK Spec. I mean, and that includes your awareness of technologies. So you as those technologies evolve, as a registered engineer or an engineering technician, the behaviours that you have to demonstrate, the skills and knowledge you have to demonstrate evolves with those technologies, and that's already built into the UK Spec. So that's one of the strong points of it. But also that is not to say though that there are not kind of huge advances in technology that UK Spec needs to adjust to. So next year there is a standards review, so a review of that UK Spec. And I think it's quite likely that we would see in that maybe a stronger recognition of kind of the importance of emerging technologies, whether that's AI or automation, or whether that's kind of the data analysis, things which maybe were kind of less prominent a few years ago, perhaps now are becoming, there's a need for them to become even more prominent. So as an engineer or as a technician, you have to not only show that you've got some technical competence in those areas, but you know how to navigate those areas and ensure those technologies deliver for public benefit. So I think that's something that we'll see as part of the standards review next year. I think our focus is on really demonstrating the value of professional registration, both to the individual engineer and definitely to industry and to employers, whether that's in the engineering world or employers from other industries who employ engineers. So I think our focus is less on whether it's mandatory or not. We'd love it to be mandatory in the sense that it's so highly valued by employers that to all intents and purposes it's made mandatory for their workforce. And similarly, I think we'd love to see a world in which individual engineers and technicians can see the benefits of registration so clearly that the choice of whether to become professionally registered or not becomes a really straightforward one. So that's our focus, is on really delivering the value of professional registration to employers and to engineers and technicians.